In this week's show, we look at some of the more unusual vehicles to be found at the Museum of Army Transport in Beverley. Plus, if off-roading is your cup of tea, why not take a look at what's on offer at the Langdale Quest, deep in the forests of North Yorkshire. Hiya, we're going car crazy again, and I know you wouldn't think so if you had to look at that beast of a plane behind me, but actually I'm at the Army Transport Museum in Beverley, and I'm going to be looking at an amazing selection of Army vehicles from the past 100 years. This is Wally Doogan, curator of the museum. Wally, this is an interesting Rolls-Royce. Can you tell us a little bit about its background?
The Rolls-Royce actually is a Wraith. It was manufactured in 1938. During the Blitz in the Second World War, it was damaged.
Yeah.
It was repaired by Park Ward. It was then requisitioned by the British Ministry of Defence. It was presented to Field Marshal Montgomery as a staff car, which he used to carry people like Winston Churchill and the King to various meetings. In 1944, it was landed across the beaches in Normandy on June the 9th, which was 3 days after the invasion. It was the first civilian touring car to actually go into Europe after the invasion. It went exactly as it is now. It was not camouflaged or in any way altered.
So that was taking a bit of a chance then, wasn't it?
Very much so. A very brave man to go around with all that chrome. It belongs to Royal Logistics Corps now, who inherited it from the former Royal Corps of Transport and the Royal Army Service Corps, who originally provided the drivers for Field Marshal Montgomery.
So how much is it worth then?
We've got it insured for over £55,000,
right,
which seems rather a lot of money, but it's because of its historical connection, which you can't replace. We can replace the car, but not the history.
Wally, this is one monster of a truck. What's it used for?
This is a Mark III anti-tank transporter. This is the pulling power for the tank transporters. It has a Rolls-Royce 8-cylinder diesel engine.
Yeah.
It's rated at 333 brake horsepower, and it's the successor to the Mark II Antars. The Mark II Antar was phased out in the 60s and this came into service. This is actually one of the prototypes, has slight differences to the production models.
So what war was it used in to transport tanks then?
It actually wasn't used in any war. Most of its life was pulling tanks in Germany. The trailer that it pulled could carry up to 60 tons.
Yeah.
It was too wide to use on the roads in England. So its main role was actually in Germany with the British Army of the Rhine.
So how much does it weigh then, if it pulled something in 60 tons?
All up weight with its trailer and tank, it came in at just over 120 tons. The tractor unit on its own actually weighs 30 tonnes, so it's quite a big beast.
So it's a diesel engine. How much does it take to fill the tank up then?
This one holds somewhere in the region of 400 gallons of diesel. This one would cost you round about £800 to fill up. Its predecessor had a similar fuel capacity of 400 gallons. At today's prices, the petrol one would cost you £1,600 to fill up.
So is this the type of trailer that monster truck pulled then?
This is one of the types of trailer that the Mark III Antar could have pulled.
And what type of tank is this?
This is a 1944-45 Mark II Comet cruiser tank.
Yeah, and has it been used before in the war?
It would have been used towards the end of the Second World War. They still serviced right up until the 1960s.
And has it been taken out since it's been here?
Since we've had it, its last outing actually was down at Salisbury Plain for the amalgamation of 2 armoured regiments, and it is still in running order.
And how did you get your hands on it?
It was actually acquired by a serving army colonel who found it being used as a load to test this type of trailer, and he had it sent to the museum where it was restored and put back into working order.
Could I buy a tank? Say if I wanted to run it around in my back garden.
When do you want it delivering?
Really? How much would it cost me then?
Depending on what sort of tank you want, they would start off at say £12,000 going upwards.
So if I bought this tank, could I drive it home today?
No. The police wouldn't allow you to drive it on the road. You'd need a special category licence, and the tracks would actually damage the road.
What would they do to the road then?
These are steel, and they would actually break up the surface, and every time you turned it actually would scrub the tarmac up, making it very dangerous for other users.
How much does this tank weigh?
This one weighs just over 30 tonne.
Is that the average size and weight?
No, the present tanks at this time weigh 50 tonne plus. They're not the heaviest tanks ever been made. Some of the Second World War tanks, or later in the Second World War, got up to 80 tonnes.
And they can crush anything in their path, can't they?
It's not advisable to take it to your local Tesco's and park it. They will crush a car quite easily.
Now, this is an interesting looking vehicle. What is it?
It's called a duck.
Yeah.
Spelled D-U-K-W.
That's a bit odd.
American.
Typical.
Typical. Actually, the duck actually stands for a code.
Yeah.
The D actually stands for 1942.
Right.
The U stands for amphibian. The K is all-wheel drive because it's 6x6.
Yeah.
And the W actually stands for twin rear wheeled. It's got twin axles at the back.
Right. So what's it used for then?
This is an amphibian. It can carry a payload of about 2.5 ton or up to about 30 men. These were actually used all through the Second World War by most armies, British and American, as far apart as the Pacific and Europe.
And who built them?
These were actually built by General Motors.
In America?
In America. They're based on a 2.5 ton GMC truck chassis.
Yeah.
They are extremely good in the water, a little bit cumbersome on the land because visibility is quite bad, but in the water they are tremendous vehicles.
There were so many interesting vehicles to see and talk about. It was like having my own private history teacher with Wally showing me around.
The Jeep had been very successful during the Second World War and still goes on today. We needed a homegrown four-wheel drive for the use by the army. We decided that we needed a four-wheel drive that was capable of carrying 4 people and radio equipment, performed just as well as the Jeep had done during the Second World War, and this was the design they came up with. It's four-wheel drive, it's powered by a 1800cc horizontally opposed engine, very similar to the Jowett type engine.
What's a horizontally opposed engine then?
Exactly what it says. Instead of the pistons being vertical, they're actually horizontal.
Right. And it has steering on either side. Why is that?
The idea was that as a prototype we had to look at every conceivable development.
Yeah.
A lot of soldiers had learnt to drive in the Jeep, which originally was left-hand drive. So, to make life easier, they designed that by undoing a coupling, within less than a minute you can change this vehicle from right to left-hand drive. Everything is duplicated, all the instruments, all the pedals. It was very quick and easy to do.
So it'd be perfect if I was going to teach my son or something how to drive. Because you have dual pedals. You
have dual pedals, you can stop the vehicle just the same as he can.
And is this in working order?
This one now is in working order. Again, because it's a prototype, we treat it with a great deal of respect. But occasionally we get enthusiasts and people who are very interested, and we will start it up and we will show them how it works.
So was it running when it came to the museum?
No. When I first arrived here, I was told that the engine was totally seized and it would never work again. The biggest problem we had was that there were no technical manuals, there was no information on the vehicle. So it was really a learning curve. It does now work. The engine is unseized and it goes very nicely.
What vehicle is this then, Wally?
This is actually a Damer Ferret armoured car.
And what role does this play in a battle?
It's actually a reconnaissance vehicle. It's actually to go forward and find where the enemy is and then report back.
And was it in working order when you got it?
No, this is the first vehicle that I actually restored for the museum.
Yeah.
We found it at the back of the museum. The turret was full of concrete and brick rubbish, so we decided to take it out and make it work again.
How many vehicles have you restored then over the years?
When I came here in 1988, there were actually only 6 vehicles that you could safely drive and operate. Since then, we've restored round about 90 of them.
You yourself? With
help from volunteers and the workshop staff.
So how long has the museum been open then?
On this present site, since 1982.
And is it funded by the army?
No, we don't get funded from central government or the army. It's supported by a private sponsor.
Now it's a massive place. How big is it?
The whole site covers over 5.5 acres.
So what range of vehicles do you have here?
We start off with items as small as a wheelbarrow, through bicycles, motorcycles, armoured vehicles, soft-skinned vehicles, main battle tanks, aircraft, ships, hovercraft, and as you see surrounded by us all these railway engines.
So how many exhibits do you have here?
At any one time on show, round about 115.
And how many of them can move?
Out of that 115, if we wished, we could start round about 105.
So who would you say is your typical customer?
There isn't such a thing as a typical customer. It's from mums and dads bringing children, it's from grandparents bringing their grandchildren, down to the school children themselves.
And do you have special events for children then?
We cater to the school through the national curriculum. We have training days where they can come and learn about things, how to operate a railway, how to load tanks, even how to build a military bridge.
So it can be a fun day out for everybody then?
Museums should actually be fun.
So where do you see the museum going in, say, the next 10 years?
Ideally, we've outgrown this site. We need a larger site. It must stay in the north of England. We need a site that is capable of housing all the exhibits we have at the moment, the reserve collection, an area which is large enough to operate the vehicles outside, so we can show people actually the vehicles running on rough terrain.
Yeah.
I suppose deep down I would like to see a working railway, so that's where I would like to go and stay.
Well, I've had a great day here. There's loads to do for the whole family. And Wally has been really kind. He said I can borrow this tank for a couple of days. Now, if only I knew where Tony lived. I tell you what, I'd love to pay him a visit. After the break, we're back to nature, off-roading in the woods. Back in a mo.
It's blooming freezing, right? It's Saturday afternoon. I wanted to go to the match and you've driven to the North Yorkshire moors. Why?
Well, we're doing a bit of orienteering on the Langdale quest today, Tony.
Right.
I've got my basic essentials, my brush, my lipstick, my mascara.
Right.
And we've got a mission. We've got to get through the 1 hour course without arguing, without getting lost, and without getting stuck anywhere. Do you think we can do it?
I'll bet you a tenner.
Let's go.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this, Nicola.
Well, it should be all right.
Right then, so is it left or right?
Left.
I thought it was right.
No, it's definitely left.
No, it's right, I'm sure it's right.
Tony, I'm navigating,
Look,
you're
Nicola,
driving.
it's right.
It's left, just get left.
Right, we'll go left then.
Right, we'll go left.
Don't start already.
I'm not starting, you're starting. I'm navigating, you're driving. Shall I drive? Needless to say, our mission statement and promise didn't last 5 minutes. We were soon arguing, lost, and his driving was terrible.
I tell you what, it was a bad idea asking Nicola to navigate. She couldn't navigate her way around the supermarket. Maybe I'll leave her in the woods later.
Okay, this is Anthony Dawson and his son Tim. They've just come down that big hill. Was that hair-raising enough?
It was good fun. It could have been steeper.
So you don't think it's a demanding enough course?
Well, the more you do it, the more hard work you need to make of it, and it can be a bit easy.
In your vehicle, though, do you not want to take it to the ultimate?
Well, no, because my wife uses it during the week, so I have to be very careful.
So she'd kill you?
Yes.
What do you think of the course?
I think it's very good, yeah. I enjoy it.
So are you doing the 3 hour route or the 1 hour route?
Yeah, we're doing the 3 hour route. Yeah, had we had more time, we would have done the whole day course.
Have you done any other courses throughout the UK?
Yes.
And what did you rate those compared with this?
It was a different course. The first one we did was a training day, and then the second day was green laning in the Yorkshire Dales, which was very, very demanding.
Why more demanding than this? What was the difference?
Much steeper, much more bouldery, washed out rivers, some very hair-raising tracks with sheer drops down the side. It was jolly good fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, a lot more mud.
So is that what you look for on an off-road course then? Steep hills, like big holes. What would you say would be the perfect off-road track?
Something that's challenging all the time, that you have to get out and look at it and see whether the vehicle's capable of doing it. If it's not capable, then you have to go around it. You might have to reverse away from it. Yeah, any challenge. It's good fun.
All things considered, even the company, the quest is great fun. You can bring your own vehicle or you can hire one and set off on any number of routes. And it's not that expensive either.
So that was a bit of a fancy driving, going backwards up the hill.
I was just out playing, that was all. I've just got this. It's the first time I've really been out with it and just seeing what it was capable of.
And what did you think? Did it handle all right?
It's difficult to say. I've been used to Land Rovers, and as I say, it's the first time out I've had the Jeep, but we got up a bit further the second time than I expected to, yeah.
I see you've got your kids with you. Did they enjoy it?
Yes, the sort of, go on, faster dad, this sort of thing, but this sort of event's not about speed really, it's just about
control.
Yeah, control and going through the train, and it's just a day out really.
Was there any bits where you thought you sort of lost it a bit?
Yeah, coming back down backwards, when I had to go forward again, put the lockers in and then come back, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think I'd have got any further up on with the Jeep though. You'd have been on a motorbike, I think, to have gone much further.
So I mean, like, what's the sort of like best part of it? You know, was it just about crashing your car?
Bit of both really, out and about, plus the fact all the work you can do in the workshop back home, the bits you can fix the vehicles, modifying them, getting them back out again, improving them, and just going from there.
So you've actually modified this yourself then?
I haven't done a lot to this personally because I haven't had it for very long. The previous owner spent quite a lot of money on it, and I've had some diff locks fitted and some other suspension modifications.
So what's wrong with a good old-fashioned British Land Rover?
Well, I should probably be careful what I'm saying on television, but I just get tired of them braking, to be honest with you.
I mean, these Yankee jobs, they look good, but they can't do the job, can they?
Well, this is a Yankee job.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It looks all right, but it doesn't do the job, does it?
Well, I think this will go anywhere where a Land Rover 90 would go. Definitely.
I'm only messing about, mate. So you're not impressed with Land Rovers then?
I like them, yeah. I mean, they're good vehicles. I just got tired of putting gearboxes in them and putting prop shafts on, half shafts, and repairing them. They just break too much. So hopefully, I mean, if you interview me a year later, I might be telling the same story about this, I don't know. But so far so good, but it's early days yet, you know.
Right, Andy's got the recovery vehicle, so he basically drags everybody out when they get stuck. Tell us a little bit about the Quest then, Andy.
Well, the Langdale Quest is the largest off-road driving site in the UK. It's a 10,000 acre site situated on Forestry Commission land. And it's an activity that's basically designed to provide for people with their own four-wheel drives, families with a Discovery, for example, and they want to go out and have a bit of fun but don't want to damage the vehicle. So
what tips can you give me? I'm about to go out and I'm a little bit nervous because Tony's driving, so what would you say I need to do and not do?
Nightmare. Basically just stay in the ruts, keep it in low gear, first maybe second gear, get off that clutch pedal. There's no car parking situations here where you've got to ride the clutch, you keep off the clutch. And sort of walking speed, it's not a rally, you just take it steady and fingers crossed you won't get stuck.
So have you had loads of people that really wipe out?
What do you mean by wipe out?
I mean like take out the vehicles.
No, we've not had any major incidents. I mean, we get literally tens of thousands of people around every year and obviously we're bound to have the odd incident, but no major problems.
You really enjoy your job. I've seen you racing around this track, don't you?
Less of the racing, we do have speed limits, but yes, I do enjoy it. It's my business, it's a fantastic activity. I get to see all sides of it.
Okay, well I know that this is a family event, but how much would it set me back?
Well, to be honest with you, not a great deal of money. If you bring your own vehicle, it's only £20 for the hour.
You can bring your own vehicle?
You can. We get 60% of all the vehicles around are people's own vehicles, brand new Discoveries, Range Rovers, you name it, they all go around.
So what vehicles would you say aren't suitable for this track? You know, because I know it's quite low and if you could bump you...
Yeah, there are vehicles, four-wheel drive vehicles coming on the market now which really aren't suitable for off-road driving, such as the Land Rover Freelander, the RAV4s. They're really all a bit too low. We had a little Kia out this morning, too low for off-road driving really, not a true 4x4.
So you'd say these little Suzuki Jeeps you've got here, they're the best?
The Suzuki Jeeps are, in my opinion, are by far the best for the activity that we run. They're a fun vehicle to drive, they're easy to get used to driving, they don't take a lot of tuition to get the hang of them, and you can go off and have some fun.
And that's it. To be honest, if I was paid 25 grand for a car, I wouldn't want to slam it through rough terrain anyway. I'd much prefer to take yours, and if it broke, what the hell? Thanks a lot then, Andy.
No problem, cheers.
Well, I just nipped out the car. You know, the call of nature. And Tony, the git, he's gone. He's left me here. I'm stranded. You know that mission statement I was talking about earlier? Well, that's all gone to pot as well, because we've been lost, We've argued non-stop, and Tony's broken everything in sight. So I tell you what, it's going to be a long night and I'm really worried about that Blair Witch. What do you think?
Right, I've got a professional Yorkshireman here. What's your name, mate?
John.
John. Now listen, can I just ask you one question?
Sure.
Who's the better driver, men or women?
Women.
Women. Now come on, what do you really think?
I think women are very good drivers, yeah.
You do?
I do, yes.
Better than men?
Well, I'd say 50-50.
50-50?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think they're any worse anyway.
So, you're not a chauvinist then, are you?
No.
That's it, you see. Not all Yorkshiremen are chauvinists.
Of course we're not, no.
You love women, don't you?
Some of them.
Some of them. Do you think Yorkshiremen are better lovers or drivers?
That's a funny question, isn't it? Well, the ones I know are really bad drivers, and I can't speak for the rest.
So you've never met any good lovers from Yorkshire?
Is it? Well, that's a bit embarrassing, really, isn't it? Well, that assumes that a person's had quite a lot of experience, so...
All right. No, I wasn't trying to imply anything. So, how would you describe Yorkshire men?
Probably make love like they drive cars.
How's that then?
You know, they're into fourth gear before you got your seatbelt on.
Right, straight question. Are Yorkshire men chauvinists?
A Yorkshireman chauvinist? I'm a Geordie and some of us are, but...
Are you a chauvinist?
Definitely. I'm a man, how can I be anything else?
And what do you think about women drivers?
Women drivers. Some of them are very good, some of them are very bad, just like men. Right. But remember that Siobhan was very, very grossly misquoted.
Who?
Siobhan, from whom the term chauvinist derives.
Oh, right.
He was a Frenchman. He made some definite statements about women that are too deep to go into now, but I think he was pretty badly misquoted. Chauvinism, in my mind, does not necessarily mean that women are bad. Some women are bad at some things, but then again, some men are.
That's very comprehensive, isn't it?
I believe in people rather than men and women. Some women are awful, particularly the ones that you end up marrying. Don't know why that is, but there you go.
Right, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you think Yorkshiremen are better lovers or drivers?
Certainly not drivers.
Definitely not.
But
Definitely not drivers.
I'm not the sort of girl to ask about lovers.
I've heard that Yorkshire men sort of like make love like they drive. They're a bit too fast and they pull out too quickly.
Not the ones I've had, however.
Do they take it nice and slow and make sure you enjoy the journey?
Oh yes, definitely.
Make sure you tune into next week's show as Tony and I get married. Only joking. We check out the transport available for every bride's big day. Plus, there's some major obstacles to overcome as we go trailing, Land Rover style. So keep watching.